Like it
Up with you? Got appointments today?
every day, dog.
Every day, man. I like it.
Every day. We got a walkthrough. I mean, I don't go out. I'm trying not to go on a lot of, I'm not trying not to do a lot of the appointments myself, but got a couple walkthroughs agents do.
Yeah.
And then my dialers are all working. I pretty much spent part of the morning just sending into the month updates to the agents and the lenders that aren't pulling their weight.
So maybe what does that look like?
Well, see, here's the thing. It's weird because my system tracks what you do. So like, you know, if you deny live calls, it tracks that. So you know, if an agent's struggling and not getting contracts, I don't go in and browbeat them. It's like, come on, man, get contracts. What the fuck you doing? I actually coach to the metrics, right? So I'll send an email and say, hey, since you started, here, I'll pull one of my emails up. I mean, the old me would just like crush them with an iron fist.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to keep people and not just burn them out, in, you know, 2 years. And especially right now.
Hey, Lincoln, I'm on Zoom. Come here if you want something.
Yeah. But now mostly all of these agents have no idea what's happening, right? They have no clue what the fuck just happened with the market, right? They're like, what the fuck is going on? And so I have to coach them to what the metrics are. So for instance, Lindsay, one of my agents who's been with me for 2 years, but she's only been an agent for 2 years, right? She has no idea about this adjustment. And I'm trying to, you know, let them know, like, it's going to get pretty aggressive.
I mean, they got to be able to fill it out in the field unless they're just not doing that amount of volume.
I think the problem with these agents right now is that
your system's over supplemented.
Yeah, they were so used to people just saying yes right away. And now they've got to slow down and listen to the client and then guide the client to what they're saying. And so that's what I'm teaching these agents to do now, because before you could just be an order taker. You know, you just run out, talk to the client, write the contract, done, waive everything.
Right.
Well, now you have to, you know, break it down. So for instance, this gal, I sent her a really long email. I don't know if you want, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I just said, as we come to the end of the month of November, I wanted to share with you some of your counts for the last 30 days using the sync system. Please review the below. And so I just broke down, you know, you will see calls for the last 7 days and the last 30 days, right? So my agents have to make calls and hit certain metrics every single day and every single month if they want to hit their goals. Because I've broken out. That's the thing too, is that I've broken out and asked them, how much money do you want to make? I did that a few months ago. And then they told me what they want to make in 2023. And I said, okay. And then I backed it out. I said, well, this is what you're going to have to do. You know, you're going to have to close this many deals at this price point to make that kind of money. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But so I like it. So you have the ISAs, the lenders, and the agents all prospecting.
Yeah. So the ISAs work 7 days a week. I've got at least two to four ISAs working 7 days a week, 8 hours a day. And my ISAs set between 1 and 3 appointments a day.
What's that process look like?
I mean,
what's considered an appointment, like live transfer or a showing or a consultation?
No. So when a live transfer is a live transfer, I do that too, but that's an appointment as well. Okay. So an appointment is where a client wants to talk to somebody, like a buyer or seller, but doesn't want to talk right that second. It could be in an hour, it could be in a day. And then the dialer then will edify lender and or agent over the phone. They then will send a text introducing everybody. Right. Then they will send an email introducing everybody. And then an hour before the appointment is supposed to happen, they'll send a reminder text reminding everybody of the upcoming call.
Okay. So I like that. It's similar to, I think where the industry is going a little bit. We used to set the, qualified appointments, but Ojo, I mean, I just took one this morning. I'm kicking it back off with Rise and some other things. And I mean, it's like agents don't want leads anymore because they can't really sift and sort, but they do need to be following up with what you've transferred to them before, the database that you've been building off the live transfers, not necessarily the new leads per se, but just off any of the transfers or showings or actual appointments or whatever. So they're following up with at least the cream that has risen to the top.
Yes.
Okay. Now the second part and third part of this is like the report. Let's take a step back. That report that you were talking about with her, is that just the back end of Commissions Inc. or what?
Yeah. That's the back end. Yeah.
I'll make you the host so you can share.
Yeah.
All right. And then what does it look like so your data doesn't get stomped on, or from the the different lead sources or data pillars that you have? How do you make sure that everyone stays on sync? Because now it's not just 2 people calling, now we have 3 people calling with the lender, because most people don't have a lender paying them money and prospecting out of their base. And so I'm sure people are going to want to hear about that too tomorrow.
So there has to be a cadence that everybody agrees to follow. And so my agents and my lender know that the cadence is 8 to 11, you prospect, 3 to 6, you prospect, 11 to 3, you follow up, and you train. It's as easy as that, bro.
It's as easy as that, but dude, I've done this at the highest level and we continuously do it. There is a lot of data management that goes into it. And in terms of the cycling of the data, the actual specific psychology of where that data or lead came from, the actual intros, the structure of calls per sources, right? And then the qualifications of that person, so you're getting the maximum valid conversation to appointment ratio out of it. That sounds like a pretty elaborate operation.
So how do I fuck? Can you see my screen? Can you see where it says sync and it says Sunday, November 27th?
Yeah.
All right, word. All right, let me move this over here. All right, so check this out. So let's click on fucking, okay, so Lindsay, for instance, right? So right here, it shows me that she's been active. If you look right here on the top, see her name, right? She joined 2020. It hasn't even been, it's been 2 years. She last was logged on 3 hours ago. Okay. 22 days out of 30 days, she was active in the system. So she logged in and she worked in the system. So I have a snapshot so I can see how active they are. She doesn't have a lot of, she has, well, this is me kind of being crazy, but she probably has about 3.5 million in contract right now. Okay.
And what's your average sales price again?
We're at 650 right now. I got 18 escrows going right now.
So she's got five of them, or 4?
Right around there. Well, she's got a, I hooked her up with a buyer that wrote on one of our listings. So we double ended the listing, 1.12 million. So 2.24 million total in volume off of one listing. Pretty sweet. But she's she's averaging about that. But what you can see here is if you look down through how many leads she's gotten, right, through the system, you can look here and see her activity on calling. And this is just a quick snapshot, right? I can see here in 7 days, she's made 90 calls only. That's dog shit. That's not acceptable to me.
90 calls in how long again?
7 days.
Oh yeah.
So in the last week, but it's the holiday. So, my wife is like, oh, you can't get, so I'm like, nah, man, like.
Okay. So does the, actual agent have access to the auto dialers and stuff like that too? And it goes back to my other question in terms of like, at least just we're going to stick with internet leads, since you were talking about Commissions Inc. And I'm assuming that's obviously Google, Yahoo, Facebook, however you're generating these leads.
Zillow. Yep.
Right. Now, are you doing the round robin system as a safety net with a hybrid that we ran?
Yep,
Obviously,
yep,
being a partner with us. And
yep.
and how long have you been running ISAs?
Long time, like 8 years,
Yeah, okay.
9 years, long
And
time.
mhm. And so, and you use a mix of, hiring freelance Philippine people, or help me understand that.
They all work for me. It's my own call center. They don't work for nobody else.
Okay.
They work for the Chris Gurnee team. That's it.
Okay.
I'm not, I have one guy that worked for somebody else and he was really good. It took a while for me to train him up, but then he got tired of working for that company and quit. And I
Mhm.
can't talk to him for another year. He's got like handcuffs on him. It's bullshit.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, because he got non-compete or whatever.
yeah, yeah,
So when you got these, morning hours, and then you got the smart hours in terms of when actual, contacts are the lowest they are off, numerous studies, from that 11 to 3. So you
yep,
have your strategic follow-up within that time, which is smart. Then you fire back up, after that, in terms of the volume and sifting and sorting. And it's like, is this coming out of one community pool? If you're doing
yes.
expired FSBOs, like whatever lead source or data source that you have, it's just one bucket until whoever makes contact out of that bucket, or
Correct.
what's the rule of thumb to like take something out of the Shark Tank or out of the community pool?
So everything is assigned to me unless the agent accepted a live transfer or accepted a lead through one of our other third party companies that we
Mhm.
work with. And then they get rotated every single day. They get rotated new leads to dial on. I have 100,000 plus leads in my system,
Okay.
and they're buyers and sellers. And if you look here, like on the bottom, Switchboard Sarah is like a system where it'll ring every single agent, and whoever accepts gets that lead
Mhm.
right here. And I actually called her out on it. She months to date, she had 142 lead opportunities. She only accepted 7% and she declined 58.
Mhm.
So that tells
And
me that she's not accepting the calls.
so
So
Switchboard Sarah is,
it's
um,
it's a system built into Sync that when a new lead comes in, it will call every single agent and then route through them, and it'll call the client too. So the goal is to get the client on the phone and the agent, and they answer, and then it connects the two of them.
okay.
And that runs through it runs through all my dialers as well.
Okay, so that was going to be my next question. So obviously when a lead comes in, but that's what, we're saying the agents don't really want, right? And I'm sure your value proposition is you're building a prospecting team. This is what I tell all
Yes.
my people. It's like, if you think
Yes.
you're going to bottleneck this, running it through a couple of VA people and, build this dynasty, like somebody sold you a dream, and there's even bigger guys out there that are doing well that I seen them coming up that, when like we were leading the pack with all that, and I was like, they're going to bottleneck their business
Yes.
in terms of recruiting or something, like that realm. Like if I could just put a fillet or a big piece of steak or a fish on your plate every single night, and you wouldn't have to do anything, and just the turnover and like everything, and you just collect all the money, and it's like a perfect world, like that would be it. But even if you have one good rock star, 4 rock star ISAs, once you have some variance or turnover, like the human development side of all of that stuff takes a long time. Like
Yep.
you've been at this 8 years, and obviously being a partner, it's like I still know like things that you're trying to do to interchange yourself. So there's community pools, and then there's got to be like rules of thumb of how data also triggers itself to be pushed into out or the system or whatever, so it don't just pile up on you, right?
Yeah.
And
So
but hold on, the switchboard Sarah stuff, hold on, with the with the auto dialer, if you press a button, if you're like VA or ISAs on the phone, that is good way you're able to also like connect and then talk to the client and the agent and fuse them together.
So yeah, so the switchboard's there. So if the agent presses 1, they get the opportunity to connect. The client isn't always on the other end. My opinion is it's always better to have someone from the US talking to the client
Okay.
and have an ISA.
Mhm.
Bottom period. I don't care.
Okay, so I like that. I like that. So at least
Yeah.
it's like, hey, you don't have, I mean, it's not like you got to be super skilled or you're like just be available, right? You don't even have to be good at it. Just be available, answer the phone and you'll make some money.
Bro, like the biggest thing I can tell you that we're gonna see that was the misconception, because the market was what it was at one time, which it isn't anymore, is that you could just sit there and just get a bunch of appointments and just follow up with a bunch of people and never have to make prospecting calls. You've lost your fucking mind. That's gone. That was for the last 12 years. Like the old school way of doing business is back now. And the people that work that fashion are gonna take market share. The ones that can't and they're scared of the phone, their anxiety's high, I'm scared I'm gonna be yelled at.
Yeah, I think it's really been, the last 4 or 5 years for sure. Where it just became like unrealistic. COVID accelerated things. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts to it, and we experienced a lot of growth. And it's like, if you would ask me 4 years ago or 2018, 19, 18, if I'd be where I'm at today, I'd be like, no, hell no, you know what I mean? And so, but then, what I told one of my buddies the other night, we went wide and we went fast and we done a lot. Now it's time to go deep, because the fundamentals and everything that happened to this point, now it's like, to me, it's kind of like the real work starts now. Like, the first, 4 or 5 years, how we've been doing this, the growth is in the chaos for sure. But the mastery and the longevity with the sustainability, with the predictability is in the mastery and the details, right? And the devil's in the details. And so it's kind of what I presented on Mastermind 1. I don't know if you watched that. I'm editing the video to it, Chris. You're probably going to want to watch your buyer agents, because I redid a lot of the slides and overlaid to it. Matt killed it. He had he like presented stuff from the All or Nothing Success Summit and stuff like that. And so I think this stuff is going to be good. These calls, we're trying to like let the person run it, and so it's like, kicking it off or whatever. I might have to be a little more involved, this one, but it's like really like giving you these talking points. I was doing a lot of this as an example, just to kind of give you like a dry run of it, but it's being able to carry more of it or whatever. And so you'll kind of already know where we're going, because then I'm interested in your VAs or, ISAs or prospecting. They can transfer out of, it's a different, like piece of technology with the auto dialer outside of Sync, or is it built into Sync? It's the one they have.
Yeah. They use Ring Central. And so they use Ring Central to live transfer to the agents and the lenders. So they live transfer to agents and lenders for appointments. So if you look at, I just want to run you through my pipelines real quick, okay? Because I've got it all broken down by lender pipeline and by agent pipeline. So appointment set is just that, right? That's an appointment that was set for the agents. They got to follow up. They got to get the client on the line. A lot of them are sellers to move them to the next stage, right?
Are you showing me a different screen? Because I'm still stuck on the Northwest stuff.
Oh, fuck, really? Okay, hold on.
Were you showing me other stuff earlier too?
Yeah, I just moved to a different, hold on. Okay, I see what's happening. Hold up. So now you got it, right? All right, cool. So I broke everything down by pipeline, so it'd be really easy where I could just click a button and I could kind of see where we're at. Right. So for me to be able to have a high level bird's eye view, I can click it and then I can see, how much business we potentially can close in the future. Right. So that's appointment set. And that means that a conversation was had, client wanted to talk to the agent, that day or in the future. Some of these are kind of skewed because I took a bunch of sellers that I got added in and moved them to appointment sets. So the agent focuses heavily on having the conversation with these people that raised their hand saying they wanted to sell their house. appointment met just means that they met with the client in person, or the appointment that was set, they had a good conversation with the client, and now they're gonna, they have to move them into the next stage, either signing a listing contract or getting them over to, a lender to get a second opinion on the loan. Active client means that they've talked to the agent, agents met with the client, they're already approved, and we're actively sending them houses, and we're trying to get them to get to that point, to get in the car to start previewing homes. Okay. In the car, it's exactly that. Already approved, already met them. We're showing them houses weekly. We got 82 people. I do not have enough fucking agents. I need more agents. Insane. And then past clients are just sold, right? Referrals are referred out. Lender appointment. And this makes it easy for me to hold my lender accountable for how much business we're teeing up for them. Lender appointment are appointments that we set for the lender. Lender has to call, they got to pull out. Okay. Got like 110 lender appointments right now. They got to get on.
What's your brand promise? Running as many hours as you're running. Is it traditional business hours, or do you have them cover nights and weekends?
Nah, every day, bro.
And then what does the
7 days a week?
With the post 7 days a week, I love it. And so this is what we want to learn more of. And I'm going to put this, in the description too, because when you said it on, I think our inner circle call, which we have one of them on Monday night too, being able to get lenders to pay you to prospect out of your database, help me understand like the dynamics of that. So it's like, they have to prospect, or you're holding accountable to the response times to the brand promise of processing these people. Like I had to get with my lender on him, my co-marketing person. It's Sunday morning or afternoon. Now here it's you're 2 hours behind, but I had to get involved and be like, hey man, these people are in from out of town, and it's like they're wanting to do a lot today, and so we need to spot check this for a minute, So what what's that look like with them on the weekends or nights, and then paying you money and prospecting out of the base?
Bottom line is that I know how much money the lender makes per closing. It's between 1.7 to 2 bips. If I'm averaging 650,000, they're potentially making 12,000 per deal, right? Or 10, right? And these guys they're putting they're probably putting $6,000 a month into my system, but they have an opportunity to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. So before they even come into my system, I sit down, and we talked about this, but I sit down and I want to see what their schedule is. I want to know, do they have relationships with, are they married? Do they have kids? Because that's pretty important. Because if they have kids and they're married, those are going to take precedence over my business. I can't have that happen. So if an LO comes in, they better have backup that if they're not working, someone else is going to pick up the phone. That's bottom line. I was just so you know, before our meeting at 9:30, I had five of my five were in there. They were on a quick, get pumped up, let's close some deals on a Sunday call meeting that I put them on a Zoom.
No, I love that, dude. So
I met with all of them. I thanked them for everything they've been doing, because they've been busting their ass. And let them know that, if I'm pushing them, it's not because I'm micromanaging them and being difficult. It's because I've been through this before, and I know what needs to be done to be successful. And if they follow and listen to what I say, they're going to be super happy. And so am I.
We're all just kind of going through boot camp right now. And if you've been through boot camp before, you know what it's like. Yeah, that's exactly it. So so you got 4 of these people, and do they feel entitled to X amount of leads or transfers or business from agents? I mean,
no, they're not entitled. I think what happens is there's one that is young. He's only been in my system for, I think it's going on his 11th month. I think he's got 25 million in closings. He's a brand new LO. He's an 11-month old LO, literally. So he finds a little bit like, because these other LOs are starting to come in, he's starting to get kind of freaked out that he's going to lose all this business. But nobody's entitled. If somebody starts getting entitled, they're out. I'll kick them out. They're done.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no love lost here. Like there's many people that want to be part of the system that aren't in it. And I'll tell you, man, like I could get a lot more money, but I already know. I mean, I was getting 20,000 at one time, 30,000, but I wasn't closing because I didn't have the right LO that was aligned with what my goals were and what my expectations were. And I think that's a really big missing component in this is a lot of us are, oh, I want to work with my friend, or I want to work in this system because I get, spiffs off of it, right? I can make some money on a residual income. Fuck that noise. Don't get caught up in that. Find somebody that's a grinder that is going to listen to what you're saying and they're fully bought in to where you're headed. Share your goals with them. Share your vision with them. Make sure they follow your core values, right? If they don't follow your core values, don't bring them in. Don't do it because that's going to fuck everything up. I think that's another thing that a lot of us don't really think about is that when we hire agents, what do? We put them through the ringer. We look at what their business, we help them with their business plan. We give them systems and processes to be successful. We coach them, right? And we show them our vision, right? But a lot of times we don't do that to an LO. We just say, yeah, come in, pull apps. I need for you to close 4 or 5 million a month and I'm happy. No, this is my vision. This is where I'm headed. This is what I'm going to do. These are my core values. This is what I stand for. Are you down? You are? Okay. Now let's look at your business plan, right? How much money do you have to put into this? Because that's the other big thing. And here's the thing to remember too. I'm going to get on a slight tangent and then I'll pull back. But if someone doesn't have money, they're still valuable if they have data that they can bring, that they can give you, right? From leads that they've generated from Zillow or from their PPC, because that's good data and it's free. And they can put time in, right? Which means prospect, calling, following up, doing shit like that. Those are key components if somebody doesn't have money. Because some LOs are like, oh, I don't have any money, I'm broke. But that's fine. Give me all your time then. You're 100% invested into what I'm doing in my systems, nothing else. And then you don't have to pay me anything. But you're going to put in, minimum 100 calls a day and pull 1 to 2 appointments a day. That's my expectation. Okay.
So then, like what gets you kicked out of the program or off of the system?
You're not converting. You're not following up. You're not sending your 30, 60, 90. Your 30, 60, 90 is your 30-day pipeline and shit you're going to close, your 60 and your 90. You're not doing those things. And you're not communicating with my team on post it Monday and finish it just like what Blake does. Finish it hard on Friday. Everybody on my teams has to post their goals, even the LOs, and then they have to post what they accomplish every single week. And if you don't, I'm watching it. And then I'll have nice conversations, but if you're still not pulling your weight, then you're just cut. Cut. I cut a guy today, or no, it was yesterday. I cut him yesterday. Good kid, but he hadn't been active in the system for 10 days.
Right.
And he hadn't converted. I can't afford to have people on that can't convert. None of us can.
So, and like, are you quantifying that with different leading and lagging indicators? In the beginning, what's the time frame that you will take, responsibility for maybe something lack thereof, or a learning curve, or life experience? Like what, like, is it closings? What is it?
No, I'll give somebody a good 2-3 months, but like, honestly, Adam, man, like I have all my training set up. We have training videos. We do live dialing Wednesdays and Thursdays. I make myself available in office. So these lenders can come in and come see me. I'll coach them. My dialers check in with them every single day. You know, hey, can we get you some more leads to dial on? They'll text them, they'll send a message in Slack. You know, I'm not a babysitter. And so, not to sound harsh, but I'm not a babysitter, but I break it all out for them. And I give them the process that's like a no-brainer. You know what I mean? And the other thing that I do that's, I don't see if I have it here. I even sit down, this is actually dope. I actually sit down and I break out a schedule, right? I'll type it out, either email it to them or print it out. So when they come see me, I'll say, hey, take a look at this and tell me, can you do this? Right? So the schedule is 8 to 11 prospect, right? 11 to 3 follow-up, train, 3 to 6 prospect, right? I'll say, can you do this? And if they say yes, I'll go, great, sign right here. And then I'll laminate it and I'll hand it to them. I'll say, this is your copy. I'm going to keep mine. I'm going to hold you accountable to you saying that you're able to do this for me. Are you comfortable with that? And if they say yes, let's go. If they say no, then they're not a good fit for me. Every single one of my LOs have agreed to follow a certain plan and signed off on it. And my agents have to do it too.
Okay. And so is it, like, it's just like those time blocks and that's it. It's like, what if I gotta miss because I got a kid or I gotta do this?
No, that's okay. Because guess what? My core values are family, accountability, committed, teamwork, servant. Those
Hey,
are
if you got family though, you better damn sure have backup in Chris's system.
well, you should have backup anyways. Like bottom line is if you're trying to make money and survive,
Right.
like and have family, yes, you 100% better have backup, not just in my system, but just for yourself in business. That's what I tell them. Because I'm not in their pockets to like take a portion of the money that they make. And I'm letting them to get into this system for very little. 5,000-6,000 is chump change for what you're getting and the amount of support you're getting.
Right.
And it's okay if you have family. I love that. I got family too. Right. But at the same time, you got to be willing to sacrifice too. We all do. Right. And depending upon what you want to sacrifice is then that will then in turn show you what type of success you're going to end up seeing in any system, in any business. You don't want to sacrifice your weekends? Bye, Felicia. You're not going to last in this business. You know what I'm saying? You just won't, especially as an LO. You think you're going to take every single weekend off? Nope, not going to work. Other LOs are going to come and just chew up all your business and take it.
So does that work for the lenders too, for that same prospecting hour? I mean, that kind of sounds, rigid in terms of, commitment. So it's like, is there like a target? Obviously every single one of them, but it's like,
here's what I'd say. I can answer that easy. So one, you don't have to do this every single day. How much money do you want to make?
Mm-hmm.
What are your goals in life? If making 80 grand is important to you and that's all you want to make, don't follow the process. Do it half-assed. You're trying to retire in 5-10 years and make $500,000, murder the process. I've been doing this for 19 years. The process works. Mm-hmm. It will save you a lot of headache, right? You're not going to have to go around and go buy rounds of drinks for agents that are worthless. You're not going to have to go pay for golf for clowns that can't get after it, right?
Right.
You're not going to have to do any of that. You got to sacrifice time. Time is worth more than money to me at the age I'm at. And if you don't have to run around as an LO in your car, kissing babies, shaking hands, pretending, right? Which most LOs hate that shit. They hate that. And all you got to do is get into a system and press a couple buttons and let an auto dialer make calls. And then you just put on your game face and use a pitch that I give you or, a version of it.
Right.
Maybe you don't need to dial. Maybe you're so good on the phone, you only need to dial 3 hours a day and you can pull 3 apps a day. Some people are like that. But if you're not, you need to work on your skill, right? And you got to make more calls because you got to have more bats.
So, okay, so then you have 4 LOs, right?
Yeah, more than that, but yeah, go ahead.
And then how many agents are calling out of the community pool?
Probably like, I think we're right around 12 solids.
Okay.
4 ISAs.
4 ISAs and then 4 LOs.
Yeah.
And how many agents did you say? 20 or?
Like with there's like 12 that are in there that are working constantly.
Okay.
Roughly.
How many, what do you think units and volume you'll end up this year?
Gonna be close to like what we did ended up doing last year. So it was pretty disappointing, to be honest. You know, so I mean, be really honest, it'll probably be right around 100 units, and we'll do about 96 million. Right around there.
What do you think your biggest constraint is?
The biggest constraint this year for us is the change in the stock market. It destroyed us with all the tech clients that we had. It pushed all those guys back because the Metastock and Amazon dropped so much that those buyers had to back off because they had no money saved. No money saved. And
you're servicing Seattle, Washington, and surrounding areas?
Yeah, yeah,
Both
but I started going into Spokane and Yakima because I saw what was happening. So I'm slowly growing my team out there. I sold 12 houses in Yakima and never visited them.
And how far is that from you?
4 hours.
That's nice, dude. You can build on that.
Oh no, bro, I can do what I do anywhere. I already know I can go anywhere with this system. You plug me in, and when I'm done with the agents and whomever the team leader is, it's a wrap. We will make money.
So is this data that your typical PPC data that you're running through there? I mean,
yeah. Look on my page. Look on my page right here. You see it, right?
Yeah.
So you see where it says KV Core Facebook?
Okay. Yeah.
You see that? So all what that is getting the okay from an agent that says I can run an ad on their listing, and I'll run an ad on it through KV Core. And so these will get generated for that. That's that. Quazu is Quazu. I do we'll probably do 8.5 million on Quazu. Okay. Facebook, that's through PPC.
I thought Quazu was that company that EXP we just acquired up in Canada. So their crossover in up there, I guess it's close.
I don't know if EXP bought Quazu. That's crazy, bro, because I've been working with Quazu for seven years.
I had to go back and check. It's
That'd be nuts.
Yeah, let me put this in here real quick. Okay, but so you got good volume, but it's like 100 units. And I mean, a lot of people ended up doing worse than they did last year. You know what I mean? Like way worse. And so, or right at par. And so I think to be able to stabilize, through this, and then like you were saying, agents not really getting with the program or understanding, where it's at. And it's, our job as a leader, for sure. And then I like, the mentality, and I've been telling my partners this, it's like, there's going to be more opportunity, not just to recruit, people to come in and hammer your phones, or we'll just say newer agents or lower experienced agents or mediocrity agents that just do enough just to pay their bills or do enough. Right. But it's like, with the systems in place and, this all in mentality, why everyone is shrinking, especially if you're building, through experience or back from it, you'll be able to attract people that normally wouldn't have took those positions or whatever, with a few caveats or some, agreements with a merger, not just maybe being recruited and I got to sign this laminated piece of paper and play by these rules because I'm going to bring these results plus these resources. And, we're going to be able to compound it into something greater. And so I think this will end up forging better, efficient relationships overall. Like Gerbic and I should have never got together if the last downturn didn't happen. I wouldn't have got out of insurance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so is just like he's older, wiser, and more prepared. I wasn't, and about putting me out of the business. You know what I mean? And so,
Nah, man, hey, 04, that's 03 is when I started, and I almost felt if I wasn't who I was,
yeah,
like with the kind of mentality I have, I would have
Mhm.
been out of the business,
right.
right?
I mean, yeah, that work ethic that you have, man, and you remind me a lot, of myself. But it's like when you look at the database management piece to it, I think like the next step, for you is like you got the ISAs, you got the cycling of agents coming and going, but it's finding some stability, within that group and some predictability through maybe indoctrination through database management with videos and different things like that, that you can start creating more of an inbound approach or not just a response from all of the dials and things like that, but starting to get people to engage and give you their right number now. Maybe they've been in the database 2 years, or emailing back off some content that they've been consuming from you. And so what I seen when I was in Puerto Rico at a mastermind, and they had shown me how YouTube and their videos and different things like that were like, it was like 12 ISAs prospecting around the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it was evergreen. And they had it down to all the same metrics that we tracked in a call center without the labor, but the same results. And so that's kind of crazy, man. And, what Gary, Gary up in Toronto, when we started hearing,
Yeah,
like if you're not, on it or paying someone to be on it, it's like you can wake up and 2, 3, 4 months pass, right? Before you're like,
yeah,
what is going on? And so, being able to, find someone to interchange you because you are kind of like that lead data person. It kind of sounds like, and when you think about what the ISAs had to start doing up in Toronto, when we started, like seeing the results that we were getting, he had them write down every single thing that they were getting in terms of a rejection or
yeah,
a buyer or joining question or anything like that. And we started seeing abnormal things. And so they started having them shoot the videos. We created kind of the outline or bulletin points and then started getting, video out. It might not be like viral marketing or anything that me and you would put together that needs to be getting put together, but it is basically conditioning them and, trying to handle that, reluctance or the common things that you didn't hear before that's now come into play before you even get on the phone with them or things like that. Are you using anything like that?
yeah. So what I'm doing is the minute I see something change, or if I get, because I get feedback when I was listening to you and you were showing me your guys' spreadsheet a couple months ago,
Mhm.
and you're like, here, this is where all the no's, this is the no's and what we're getting.
Right.
And I was like, okay, fuck, I'm not even doing that. Like, just as long as my ISAs get between 1 to 2 appointments a day, I'm pretty stoked on that, right? And if they get, they usually average like 17 to 20 follow-ups every single week, which means that, they're waiting for a certain reason. They put the notes in there.
Yeah.
And we have a follow-up set up. But
Yeah.
what I wasn't doing was what you were talking about, to see what the no's were, right? And the no's that I ended up finding out, because they post that in an Excel spreadsheet for me, every single appointment, and they update it of where it was and where it's at right now, right? And how many times they have to set reappointments for agents and lenders. And so I looked at what the no's were, and the no's were interest rate. So what did I do? I told my lender, you got to get me a 2-1 buy down. You got to get me a program where when we get closing costs paid for, we're at a 2% lower interest rate of wherever the going rate is. And so we implemented that. So I got a 2-1 buy down. where all I got to do is get the closing costs paid for. And I've already teach my agents how to do that because we pre-negotiate prior to even looking at a house, right? The deal. And we solve that problem. So anybody who says, oh, the interest rates are too high, don't worry. We have a way to get you 2% lower interest rate. Lender can talk to you right now. So what we're doing is we will track the nose so we can kind of get an idea of, you know, what we're facing, and then change the pitch or give the dialers and the agents firepower to win.
Dude, this is exactly my mastermind, you know, call that I'm finishing the video to or whatever. That's exactly what I, you know, talked about, was being able to pivot with the times and being able to be nimble enough to change your value propositions to solve problems. Like,
Yes.
and it's something that we just created right now for this problem, which it
Yes.
does take care of this problem, you know, from, you know, a net results and education and just, you know, psychological anxiety of, is it okay to
Yes.
take this next step? You know, but it's like the thing, some of that stuff would have been like a waste of time, or you would have lost business if you were running it 6 months ago, for example, right?
Yeah.
And so to be able to shift through like that, like I'm happy to hear that, you know what I mean? So that's awesome.
You like you said, this is one of the reasons why I went underneath Mike and not exactly you, because you and I are so fucking the same.
Right.
It's crazy. It like boggles my mind.
Right.
And you have to pivot like that. You can't second guess the pivot. Once you see something, you have to change. If you do not, you will become a dinosaur, and the asteroids that are hitting the real estate market are going to hit you and you're done. Period. And that's always been the way that I've ran my business, is like pivoting quickly.
I mean, it would have been dumb for you to to just come partner with me the way, you know, you structured that and took a, you know, step back and looking at it. Like, you know, when you look at getting Mike and I both, like that is like the winning package right there, you know what I mean? And so it doesn't matter where you're at in my organization, if you're a Chris Gurnee or whoever, it's like we're going to lean into it for sure. You know,
Yeah.
Mike is brilliant and with a lot of things, because he can get us to, you know, slow down and, you know, like look at it from a different angle for sure.
No,
And
and that's the beauty. That's the beauty of you now, because that's what you learn from him, right?
right.
I'm learning that from him, from Blake, and from other people, is being able to slow down and look at everything and not knee jerk,
Right.
but then make adjustments accordingly. Check this out. I just wanted you to look at this. I know I'm getting off topic, but this is crazy, bro. So this is actually a lead from one of my lenders, and he gave it to me 1,105 days ago. This is dope, like tracking in a system. This client logged in 4 hours ago. We ain't never talked to him. We just put him in the system. We set him up on a saved search, and my dialer just called. So my dialer's trained. The first thing they do is they'll call any new lead, and then they'll go in and they'll call what's called daily engage, which means anybody who's logged in, they'll call them and send them a text to engage them in a conversation and get them over to a lender or an agent. That's sick. I almost want to move this to appointment set, but I'm
Yeah, I took a screenshot of it. I mean,
that's sick.
I thought you were going to tell me you converted him. That would have been even like
I
sweeter.
mean, let me just look and see what let me see what the dialer did. If they put a note in there, they hadn't converted it yet. I mean, I could send a message, right? Yeah, see, she auto dialed. I can send a message, check this out. So I can see the property they looked at, right? And I can click this button right here. So automatically I've just set up an email that has the property on it. And I'm going to put, because she's been seeing my face nonstop, because we do retargeting. So we've hit her with cookies, and we have we have messages going to her through Google and through Facebook. So my face is showing up like on her Facebook page on the right, or it shows up in her feed. And I'm going to just put amazing. She's going to open this. I'm going to put, I was looking at homes and thought this one may be a good fit. Let me know. And then just press send. So I just sent that property, and it has my information on it. It has it's set up where I'll have a video tutorial on it. She's only looked at it once, but she opened it up. What is that, at 8:05? She opened it up a couple hours ago. But now I sent it to her. She doesn't know that I can see what she can see or what she does. And she's going to see that I sent her this property, and I'm thinking about her. Well, goddamn, Chris really knows what I want. I've never talked to her.
Or what she's fantasizing about.
You know, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's stuff like that.
So, all right. So you're doing a lot of mass calling, and this is, a very important piece to, having a call center or, something that you're running is what I like to call the strategic behavior follow-up. And so you're not just, loading these people up and dialers and all that stuff after you do like your first initial, we'll say, welcoming calls on blast 7-10 times, trying to make contact, sift and sort, get them set up on the IDX feed that you're talking about. What like are you guys looking for, afterwards? Is it hand follow-ups after that, like loan calculations, printing flyers, looking at properties like that and sending little templates out and the behavior stuff?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good way of saying this. So everybody gets a new lead that comes into my system, automatically gets set up on a saved search.
Yeah.
I don't have to do it. It's already set up on the back end. So whatever they search for, it automatically flows in, and then it sends them a house. And then daily they get a new, if a new property shows up, it gets sent to them.
Yeah. And that technology, guys, works, off of the, past, 3 houses or 2 houses or 10 houses that they looked at that time. Is that right?
Yeah. So it'll change. Hold on. Let me just, you see where it says activity on this one. So this is a Craigslist lead, right? So I close deals from Craigslist, believe it or not. So let's just look at this guy. And you can see he's looked at 285 homes in the system. So it will track what the person does, and then it'll break down, like their average, average price. Let's see, let me look at this note real quick. Sorry. He's pretty active. All right. It will break down their average price that they're looking at. So you kind of have an idea of their price range. And then you can go as far as look to see how many times they've looked at certain homes too, and properties. And then you can see here, he has 8 different home search saved, and he's hearted 4 homes. That was a while ago, but he's hearted 4 different homes. When that happens, the agent assigned gets notified. If somebody hearts something, you get a text on your phone, and you get an email to your phone that says, hey, Jeffrey has hearted this house, reach out to him. You see this right here? So this client looked at a house 2 times. If you look at something 2 times or more as a lead, the agent gets notified about that. So this agent got a text saying, hey, this guy looked at this property, MLS number 2 times. When the agent clicks on it, it'll take them to the property within the sync system. And then they can message them the property in real time.
Yeah, I like it, man. That really gives the agent or the ISA, an advantage when they're following up with what I call optimal keywords.
Yeah, no, you're right. And then I've broken my pipeline down, or my filters. I've broken them down. My whole system is broken down into different filters too. Right. So if a buyer is a VA buyer, so when they filled out their PPC, and they said they're a veteran or a VA buyer, I've broken down the filter where it can bring up all of our VA consumers, which we only have like 200. There's 231 of them, right? If I want to break it down by people that are buying in the next 0 to 1 month, when they fill that out, I can click on 0 to 1 month, and it brings up all of our consumers. There's 196 people that when they signed up, could have been 3 years ago, that it would be either right now or in another month, right? You see this guy says 706 days, but when he came into the system, he said that he was, what is that? 700, that's five, that's a long time ago. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right now, he's falling in within the 0 to 1 month. Right? And all the way down to a city. Somebody that wants to buy in Spokane, I can click here and obviously assign this to the agents that I have that are in Spokane. I got 368 people looking in Spokane or Snohomish when they sign up. Right? So my dialers can easily filter out and assign leads to agents, LOs, accordingly to, what they're looking for to work on. And then you can see the P1's like all new stuff. The P2 is just call again, right? They're active in the system, make another call. The P3 is people that logged in 30 days or less. So they're active. We have 344 people that have logged into our system 30 days ago or less that are actively coming back. And then the P4 is people that change their home search. Probably not very many in there, but there's 77 consumers that have changed their home search recently.
That's good. They're modifying it and they're engaging with the system.
Exactly. And so the dialers obviously want to set as many appointments as possible. So they focus on the P filters as well as, here's another good one. So daily dial sellers. This is every single seller that we have that the dialers need to make. There's a lot of them. There's 10,000 that the dialers need to make calls on, and they're not going to call on somebody that was 59 minutes ago, right? They're not going to do that. They're going to look for the most active. Like this person logged in, they're selling a house in, where is that? Seattle. They logged in 2 hours ago, right? My dialer already hit them. Probably left them a message too. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, I don't know. What else? What else is in here? Hot leads. I don't know. This is just a save search that one of my account reps set up. So time frame to buy is from 0 to 3 months. And it's every single filter where the people are active, where then the dialer can go in and look, and same thing with the agent and make calls on.
And how many dialers do you have?
There's, well, including lenders or
Like,
just my,
like the actual technology, actual dialers.
unlimited. Sync, you can have as many as you want. I probably have 40.
Single line dialers or
Yep. There's probably like 40 of them, 29 or 40. So it's a lot.
Mhm.
Because you'll have other LOs that, here's the thing. Now we're going to get even deeper on this. This is crazy. This will trip you out. So I'm constantly recruiting LOs to join my LO team. Right? And so what that looks like is I'll give someone an opportunity to get in my system without paying,
Mhm.
but they've got to agree to adhere to certain, aspects that I present to them. Give me some data. So they got to have data, right? So old leads that they can give me. And then I'll put them in my system and start training them, add them into our weekly dialing, right? Add them into the book club that we have. And the goal for me is to get them under the umbrella of my team, my lending team. So they're managed by my team leader that runs the lenders.
Okay, so the team lead does lead the lender, so somebody else other than you?
Yeah, no, he has, yeah, I got somebody that is leading them. And then he also coaches my agents. So he coaches them on mindset, and then he works with my agents on their business plans to make sure that they hit numbers and they're successful. He's a partner, man. The LO's got to be a partner. If this is not a game. If they think that this is just, like the old school way of doing things where you just come in, punch a clock for a couple hours and then you're done. No, we're ride or die. We're Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah. It's like you really got to pull your weight in your system.
And if you're not, then that's cool. You're out. but that's your choice. I didn't make that choice for you. You did it on your own by how you've put time into the system, and the time in the system will reflect the money you're making and I'm making as an LO. If you're not making any money because you're not converting, that's not my fault. That's your fault.
Yeah, I like it, man. So cool. I mean, I think I got enough, you know, to be able to, you know, let you run on it. And so, you know, you'll carry the call. I'll try to, you know, not speak, you know, that much, because it's like we really want to put our people on. And so I think with that kind of framework that you and I just went through, because I know you got to leave right now, but
Yeah.
you know,
Can I show you two more things?
yeah.
Okay, so you see this is Slack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So right here, you can see all past lenders, you can see closing, you can see book club. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the book we're reading this month. Can't Hurt Me, right? We choose a book, 1 to 2 books every single month, and we read them, and then we get into a meeting and we talk about them.
Yeah, I love that one right there, that David Goggins one.
Yeah, that one's dope. And then we've got, you know, a section for some funny stuff, fresh squeeze memes, right? Trying to be, you know, we got to make things light and bright too. We can't always be nonstop, you know, getting after it. We can, but we got to mix it up a bit. And then my ISA team, they have to send updates to me every hour on the hour. And the reason why I did that is eventually I'm not going to be the man. Someone else is going to run this, and anybody can step in and do what I do once I train them. And you get the updates every hour, so you can see how many calls were made, what they've worked on, what they accomplished. I can send them a message and say, hey, what are you seeing? You know, what's the connectivity on that list? How bad is it? Is it bad? Okay, let's make an adjustment, right? And that's without me having to talk to them. Everything's done right here now. Before they would text me and shit, I hated it.
Yeah, I mean, we run Slack as well. We run WhatsApp app in Canada. You know, we run another app. And so, I mean, I love Slack, you know, and
Yeah, it's dope. And this is all my agents.
Yeah.
And my dialers and my LOs. So just so you can see that I'm not like bullshitting, because some people talk about stuff and they're not about it, right? They talk about, oh, we
Hey,
this.
you can't be a partner of ours and not be about it. Or
I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah.
But look, you see this guy right here? This is the guy that's done 20+ million, right? Brand new LO. For the week, he made 350 calls. He set 6 appointments for my agents, not for himself, for my agents. He pulled 4 applications in a week. No bullshit. He got 3 approvals out to the team. And we put 2 deals.
This is what they're going to want to know.
And we put 2 deals into contract just with him. And he ate turkey. Good fucking job, dog.
He ate turkey.
Straight up.
You get the biscuit too.
Hey, you know, and this is a 17-year vet that actually was with EXP. I never bring on seasoned guys. I don't, but he came referred. So I got him in the system, and you know, he hit some metrics, but he's still working on some things. But you've got to do that every single Monday, every single Friday. You've got to post your goals on Monday and what you accomplish on Friday. Right? You got to do that. You have to. And the ones that don't, that's okay. But I'm going to be watching it, right? Because that's where I get a coach. I can watch that and track. And if they're not posting and then they're not successful, right? That's a coaching opportunity for me, right? To have proper conversation and be like, hey, why aren't we posting those goals? What's up? You know, and why aren't we being really successful? What's missing here, right? What else can I do to help you have an easier time in real estate? What other support do I need to bring in?
Right.
Right. And that's what I tell the lenders. What else do I need to do? Here are all the things you have right now. What's missing? You told me it was leads. So now we're generating 1,000 to 1,500 leads per month. Do I need to generate more? Right. And it's 100% just using the KPIs and the metrics that are there right? To have conversation and then coach through there. And you can see here, I'm constantly pushing 8 to 11, 3 to 6, 11 to 3. I'm constantly pushing that. This is my language right here for success. Constantly. Nonstop.
I mean, it's the KPIs, what makes the world go round with it. So
yeah, and we're adding CTE to the system. It'll be done by the end of December. And it breaks it down all the way to the point of how many dials you'll have to make for the year to make the money that you want to make. That's how slick that system is. Every 100 calls should be 2 appointments minimum in my system. Every 100, one worst case, and that's agents and or lenders on average.
And what's and that's just off the
That's
internet.
tracking. Yeah, internet. People that don't know who you are. Yeah, 1 to 2 every 100. So if you want to make $500,000 in my system, you got to make 10,000 calls in a year. And you can make $500,000, but you got to average 800,000 per deal. So it's simple math. If you're averaging only 400, you got to do double.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I like it, man.
So it's gonna be really nice, because then I can step back and I think that's a big thing to talk about, is once you kind of really have all this tracking set up, you can step back and not live in the system as much, which I'm starting to do. Right? I'm having more conversation on coaching and helping these guys convert, rather than, chasing people down every single day. Why don't you call this person? The dialers do that.
Right.
The dialers have conversation on Sundays and then on Fridays on agents' pipelines that aren't being updated. They'll send them a text and an email. And if it's the lender, they'll send a text and email to the lender and then add in the lender's boss of like, hey, this stuff wasn't done. Why not? No notes were put in. Why not? What happened? And then it's up to the LO to explain that to their team lead. Now they don't need to explain it to me. They're going to have to talk to their boss. And then the boss will make the decision to either cut them, right? Or cut them off, so then they can kind of, recharge their batteries to get back after it again.
And this is the one guy that answers to you, or do you have multiple of these?
I got multiple, because I'm going to go into other states.
Okay.
So I'm going to go into Las Vegas. I'm going to go into Arizona. I'm going to go into Cali. I'm coming. And so I'm training some LOs right now on how to work, because LOs don't know how to work.
Right. They know how to service.
Dog, they don't. Yeah. But when I'm done with them, they're going to be beasts. They'll be monsters. Same thing with my agents. That's why I like the new ones, because you could teach them real good habits in the beginning, and then they just run circles around the seasoned vets.
Yeah, I mean, you get that dialed in and get them trained the right way for sure, man, because that's what it's all about.
And the biggest thing I'm going to tell you, we'll end it with this. The biggest thing that I can tell you is to teach every single agent how to use the phone and how to use proper tonality and mindset. Because to think you can just give somebody a bunch of Op City leads or Ojo or fucking whatever, you lost your mind.
Mm-hmm.
That shit ain't going to work. They got to be able to pick up the phone and talk to a total stranger and make that stranger feel like they're best friends and they've known each other forever. And the minute that agent can do that, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
You crush it. You will smash. You can call any type of lead and you will win. But you got to get them to that point. That's the secret sauce. And that takes work. You can't just plug somebody in and say, okay, answer all these Op City $500 rental fucking people.
Right.
And get your face kicked in nonstop and not have a win ever, right? They're going to quit. Or you push them to use the phone and guide them through their failures and help them understand the pitch and the importance of having solid conversations with random strangers. And the minute that clicks, done. It's a wrap. It's a wrap, I'm telling you. And those are the people that you'll know are going to be the go-tos, right? And then you can build around those people that are monsters on the phone. They become team leaders, and then you put pod agents underneath them that either will not dial, right, or they're poor on the phone, but they've got great customer service and follow-up skills, and have them go show houses.
Right. I mean, it's like whoever, used to be able to control the leads, control the business back in the days, but whoever controls the actual conversion nowadays, that's where it's at. Because you can go generate all these leads and build these databases or spend all this money, but it's like, if you can't convert them, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Worthless. Yeah. Why spend an additional 10G to try to convert a bunch of other leads if you're not going to follow up and stay consistent? You're wasting your time.
Right.
You're wasting your time. You should give me your leads.
Absolutely, man. I love it. I know you got a jet, man. Let's,
I got to bounce.